Hey Michelle, how you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. So
Good.
we're back for session number two, and I want you to catch me up on what's been happening with the things we discussed the last time.
Yeah, so I did a lot of market research because I wanted to make sure I had a viable offer. And I got a lot of really great feedback on what my target market would want to see in a coaching
Okay.
program. And I got a lot of insight into what their pain points are. And so I was able to kind of, put down on paper what my offering would look like based on that feedback.
Okay, so what are some of the pain points?
A lot of things around boundaries. These are full-time working moms, and they have a really hard time, number one, putting themselves first, but they also have a hard time understanding that they're valuable enough to do that.
Okay.
So it's almost like self-worth issues. Um, and they're just burnt out and they're stressed. And because of that, they snap or they give attitude to the people around them. There's a lot of resentment that builds,
Okay.
I'm seeing. And also, one woman in particular, I think one of her relationships she struggles with the most is the one with her husband. And he has some negative habits that have picked up, and she's having a hard time kind of expressing her needs around those. So things like that. But it was very validating for me because
Hmm.
boundaries was going to be a huge piece of what I'm offering. And I
Right.
also asked them, this is a big thing too, because I know like the intuitive part of me, I really want to incorporate that. They are all open. All of the women, I think I spoke to like six people. All of the women I spoke to said that they are very open to, that intuition part and,
Okay.
they have that belief. So that was really great to hear too.
Yeah.
I mean, and I kind of led with, I know it's not for everyone. I know, I'm not trying to push an agenda, but I am
Hmm.
curious, what's your spiritual stance? Are you open to, incorporating readings into coaching? And they all said, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Hmm. Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So I told you I wanted to teach you what's called the self-coaching model. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to do that today. That's part of what we're going to do. And what I'm going to teach you is to have the result. And before we started recording, we were talking about money. So this is right on time. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
teach you, and this is my pointer today. So
I
what I'm
love
going to
you.
teach you, we create magic in here. What I'm
Yes,
going to
we do.
teach you is the model to make $100,000 revenue in 2025.
Okay.
Does that sound like a goal
That
you could have?
sounds amazing.
Okay. So, do you have pencil and paper? I
I
will send
do. I'm going to
you.
take notes on
Okay.
my computer, actually. Is that okay if
Okay.
I type notes?
Oh, that's fine.
Okay,
That's
great.
fine. So the self-coaching model was created by my mentor, Brooke Castillo, with the Life Coach School. I just happen to have my jacket on today. It's cold in the house.
Mm,
So I want to explain that this is the thought process, the paradigm shift. So the paradigm shifting is the thoughts that you're thinking that are creating your life. And this model starts with the C stands for circumstance, T is thought, F is feeling, A is action, and R is result. Now, what I've added to her teaching that works for me and my clients is that the thought and the feeling are who you're being. So most people have heard be, do, have. If you be it, you will see it. So the being is created by your thought and your feeling, which I call your vibration. The way you're thinking and the way you're feeling is creating a certain vibration in your body and really all around you because people feel our vibrations. Um, and then from that vibration, your actions are what you're doing based on the vibration.
Mm,
That leads to your result. So
got it.
sum this all up. Your thought always equals your result.
Love it.
Always, always. And a lot of times people say, well, I wasn't really thinking anything. Yes, you are. You're
Right,
thinking something, but you may not be aware of what you're thinking.
right.
So I kept this pretty general because this can apply to anyone that has a business, that your circumstance is you have a business,
Got it. Okay.
right? And I like to start, you can start anywhere in this formula. You can start on any line you want to. I like to start with, it's called the C line, the T line, the FAR line. I like to really start with the R line. Most
Mm,
people are in tune somewhat with what they want. So they may say they don't know what they want, but they know what they don't want. So if
right.
you know what you don't want, it's easy to flip it into what you do want.
Yeah.
So if you want to make $100,000 next year, what would you, and let me add one other thing. This is considered an intentional model, which means that we're creating it from scratch. There's an unintentional model, which again, I kind of teach it backwards. The unintentional model is usually when something has happened and you're thinking about it. And so you're telling me a circumstance that happened.
Okay.
So we're starting with the intentional model and then we'll go into the unintentional. But right now, you want to be very intentional about making $100,000 next year. Give
Yep.
me a thought that you could think that would lead to that result.
A thought.
A sentence.
Um,
Let's have, a sentence, a thought,
so a thought that would lead me to have $100,000 in revenue would be I am like I guess I would have a positive belief thought. So
or something that would move you to feel good and take actions that are inspired actions.
okay, you know what? Not going back to corporate America would make me feel great and make me want to take action on my business.
Okay, so what would the sentence be? Like,
I
um,
am not going back to corporate America.
but that's not going to lead you to make 100,000.
The action does, though.
Right, but the thought has to drive the result. So
Okay.
what if the thought was, I can make money without a corporate job?
I love that because that's what we were talking about before we were started to record.
Yeah, I'll
I
give you
can make
another
money
one.
without a corporate job. That's gold.
So I want you to really repeat that to yourself over and over. I want you to put sticky notes around the house. I want you to put it on the mirror, the refrigerator, because
Yep.
our brains are so programmed to keep thinking the same thoughts. In this process, and I'm going to show you on another uh, sheet, part of the process, but you have to relearn the way you're thinking. And you have to start thinking these thoughts intentionally to create the results that you want. Because this is intentional. This isn't just like, oh, let me see how much I make and then
Mm-hmm.
whatever. It's like, no, I can make money without a corporate job and it's going to be $100,000. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to make exactly $100,000. But if you made 89 or if you made 105, you wouldn't be upset. right?
Right. No, definitely not.
Right. So this isn't some magic thing where, oh,
Right.
$100 is just going to drop in your bank account. No.
Right.
So when you're thinking, it's possible to make money outside of a corporate job. I can make money outside of a corporate job. I used to always say, make money without a job. Like you can make money without a job. Any of us can. We've just been conditioned that we need
Mm,
a job. But what if when you were in high school, you were taught that you have to figure out how to make money in your own business?
then it would be second nature. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like it can't be done. It's just that you have to learn a new way to make money.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Make sense?
Makes
So when
sense.
I say that to you, how did you feel?
Oh my God, jazzed up and energized,
Right.
excited.
Yeah. So from that excitement, now what are you going to do?
I'm going to take
So,
action.
right, but I want you to make a list of specific actions that you're committed to take. And you
Okay.
don't
Right now or after this?
know right now.
Okay.
Like we can
Um,
start with 10 and then you can add 10 more. And that
okay.
doesn't mean you have to do them all, tomorrow. But I want you to get clarity on the call of what will move the needle.
Okay. So I have some things in mind. I think I'm ready to just get this high ticket offer out there just to try it.
Mhm.
And so what I'd like to do first as sort of a lead magnet is to record a free video to get people on a sales call. And then what I would need to do is really just start showing up on Instagram essentially and DMing people, letting me people know about it, and use that free video to, kind of collect email addresses as well as, see if I can get people on a call.
Okay, so what you just gave me was like more high level.
Okay.
So what if you, and I think we spoke about this before, what if you reached out to the people that you've already coached for free
Yep.
and
Yep.
offer them that offer first? So
Yep.
don't spend time recording anything. Don't worry about social media. You can if that's part of your routine already. But what's going to be important is that you speak to the people that you've already helped.
Yep. Yep. I know you told me that. I like that. I like that. Okay.
You want to make money now. You don't want to make money after you record, after you post, after maybe somebody sees it.
Yep. So
Now
it's
you
like
could
start with the warm outreach first, basically.
totally, totally,
Okay.
totally. Also, I want you to reach out to people that you know that you haven't made any offer to and tell them what you're doing and ask them, would they be interested? Because this time of year, so many people are interested in making changes for the next year.
Mm,
Why not just check in with people? Hey, especially people that you are connected with through other groups you're in, programs you're in. Most of my clients in the beginning, pretty much all of my clients came from a program I was in.
yeah. Okay. What's interesting though is those limiting beliefs start creeping in my head around, but it's December 10th and it's right before Christmas. Who's going to spend, you know,
Well,
money
guess what?
on?
I'll give you a new thought that my coach gave me a couple of years ago, and that is people love buying coaching in December.
Really?
She sold 10 packages in December a couple of years ago.
Okay. I'm going to write that down under a thought.
People love buying coaching in December. What if they love buying coaching in January? What if they
Yeah.
love
I mean,
buying
it's a new
coaching
year.
in February? What if they like buying coaching in August? What if they always love buying coaching?
Yeah. I always love buying coaching, writing that down.
Yeah. So see where the limiting beliefs come in? We all
Yep.
have them. I have them too. We all have them. That's why this work is so important because if you don't work on intentionally thinking that your work is in demand, that's another one.
Yeah.
My work is in demand.
Yep.
If you don't constantly think these thoughts, it you will revert back to, but it's Christmas. Think about people that don't spend a lot of money for Christmas or
Right.
or that limit how much they spend for Christmas or that want to treat themselves for Christmas.
Yep. There you go. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, so see how we can get stuck in our own head and then
Hmm.
we put that belief onto the whole world,
Right.
right? Everybody doesn't even celebrate Christmas.
I know that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
So,
true.
right. So you see where we trick ourselves up, like we really mess
Yeah.
ourselves up.
Yeah.
So if you had the thought, everyone loves buying coaching in December, and you're excited, then you're going to reach out to people that you think you have the warmest connection with right away. You're not going to wait till
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah. And it's funny because I know you did tell me to reach out to people I knew, and I did put or people I worked with already, and I did get my list together and I formatted it and I was like, all you're right. I forgot about this. And my limiting beliefs got in the way, Gil.
And why do you have to format the list?
Well, because it like spit out weird and I had to format it so I could like copy and paste them into,
Oh,
you know what I'm
because
saying?
you literally could just take a sticky note and write it down. You see how we get in
Right.
our own way?
I
Oh, let me
know, I
call,
know.
let me text Linda, or let me message Susan or whoever, right? It doesn't have to be complicated. And that's where people get really jammed up. We make it too complicated.
Yep. And that's been my issue. Like mindset is my a big, big, huge, huge issue for me. It always has been.
For most people,
Yeah,
for most people. When I started this work, my goal was to unbrainwash myself, which
love
is
that.
because I knew I was thinking thoughts that didn't serve me and that I didn't even like what I was thinking most of the time. And I knew
Right.
I didn't like it, but I didn't really know. I didn't have I didn't have this, right? I didn't like nobody ever told me like, okay, I heard people say, you can change your thoughts. You can change your thoughts,
Right, right. But you're like, no,
right?
you know, whatever. Yeah, yeah.
But then I'm a very logical person, and all my years as an accountant, like I joke and say this is corporate manifestation because
Yep.
it's a formula and it's very logical, and my brain
Yes.
works very logical. So it's not like with The Secret where you just think your thoughts and visualize. Yes, you can visualize and think, but it's not up here in the clouds. It's right here on paper,
I
right?
love that because that what you're teaching really is the secret, but you're putting it into corporate jargon. I love that. I wrote that down.
Yeah.
This is corporate manifestation.
Yeah. But the thing that The Secret was missing is they didn't tell you you had to take massive action.
Yeah, right. That
That's
makes
the
sense.
piece. Yeah, that's the piece that's missing. And so many people got frustrated, but it doesn't mean just think about it and visualize it
And
and
it
it'll
just
just,
falls in your lap. Right.
no, you have to take action.
Right. Right.
And this is the other thing, and it's not easy. I'm not saying any of this is easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But you have to be willing to fail. So, yes, you're taking action, but not every action you take is going to work.
Right.
But that doesn't mean something has gone wrong. Whereas we're never taught that either. We try and we fail and we give up. But I always say, if you never quit, you always win.
Yep. I agree.
If you never quit, you will always win. So I want to
True.
take this a little bit deeper. Let's see here. I covered this so you couldn't see it. So I
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to talk about, let's put this here. I want to talk about what this looks like. Can you see this?
I can. Um, current
Can you-
self, transition,
Is that better?
mastermind. Yep. And then future self. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Okay. So this is how my brain works. Like I have to, like I said, I'm a very logical thinker. And so I took what I learned with the model and started figuring out different ways for me to understand it and then for my clients to understand it. So right now, this is your current self. You're in the box. We always talk about you need to think outside the box. You're in this box and you have these current circumstance, thoughts, feeling, action, and result from your current self.
Yep.
But you want to transition into, and this is just an example of a mastermind where people are transitioning, going through a mastermind, or it could be a group of people that are mastermind, but you want to transition from your current self to your future self, which she makes 100K in her business. So you can't get here or here in the transition. You can't transition out of here until you change this.
Mm,
Does that make sense?
yep.
So the thoughts that you came to the call with are not going to help you get out of this box.
Yep.
So the first step in the transition is to start thinking some of those thoughts that I gave you, and
Yep.
you can create your own too. Um, like I love Jen Sincero's book, You Are a Badass and
Oh,
Make
yeah.
Money. And so I would say, I'm a badass. I'm a badass. My coaching's in demand. And I would just keep reminding myself, I'm a badass, which most of us are. As
Mm,
women, we're pretty much taught to hide.
yeah.
It's not intentional. It's society's rules that are pushed down on us. Be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be too loud. Like all of the things that start to keep us small. Like I always think about when I was young, and we wore dresses a lot when I was young because you couldn't even wear pants to school. That's how old I am. Like I think I was in high school and when they started letting us wear pants to school. But I remember my mother always saying, "You're a lady, keep your legs closed." And you know
Mm.
how hard it is when you wear a dress unless you cross your
Oh, yeah.
keep your legs to sit with your legs closed,
Right.
you know? And so that's learned behavior. Somebody's telling you if you don't keep your legs closed, if you don't quiet yourself and kind of sit in the room, you're not showing up in the proper way. Or
Right.
even until recently, I worked in law firms a lot. In a lot of law firms, you had to wear stockings. Like you had to wear hose, you had to wear a suit. You pretty much showed up as a woman dressed like a man, with your suit on.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all these rules that keep us rigid, tight, small,
Mm.
that don't allow us to be ourselves. But what if you were bold? What if you had to be bold and loud and do things different to get out of this box? What if those were some of the actions?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I like that because I'm not, because of society and what the learned behavior. And so being bold, loud, and brave to get out of the box and put yourself out there, it's invigorating.
Yeah, because it's a busy world out there online. Everybody's attention is being captured in so many different places. So at some point, you're going to have to show up different to get people's
Mm,
attention. And those
yeah.
different actions raise your vibration to get you out of the box.
Yep.
Because then you're not being the same person. You're changing your paradigm and moving into a different version of yourself.
Yep.
Because, there's an expression, what got you here won't get you there.
Yep. It's true.
It won't. The same skills that you showed up in corporate with are not the skills that you use for your business. I mean, some of them overlap,
Right.
but a
Right.
lot of them don't.
Right.
Because you don't have to market when you're in your job, unless you have a marketing position. But for the
Right.
most part, you don't have to
Yeah.
market to bring in the business to make the money to pay yourself,
Yep. Right.
right? So this person here isn't marketing, but this person has to start marketing. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And then this person has to learn how to sell so that they can get to this.
Yep.
And marketing and sales are the biggest piece. So, one thing I think that isn't emphasized enough, and I know in the coaching space, you focus a lot on becoming an amazing coach, but nobody really tells you you have to become amazing at marketing and sales.
Right. Or how to do it.
Right, right. And a lot of things that are being taught keep us stuck in hiding. So if somebody's teaching you, oh, you have to post on social media 3 times a day, you have to go live, you have to do webinars. Yes, you do have to do all of those things. But if you want attention, like it's your business, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to do anything.
Right. Right.
If you don't, or the email list, all of those things, but those are the things most people spend their time on and they don't talk to people.
Right. Well,
So,
that's the thing. You can post, but it's almost like you got to go into the DMs or like directly reach out.
yeah, or just have conversation with people.
Yeah.
I had a lady reach out to me and she coaches survivors of sexual abuse. Well, I don't coach, that's not my focus, but probably there are women in my audience that have been sexually abused. That's just
Hmm.
not anything I ever thought of. But she reached out to me and asked, could we do a 15-minute connection call? And she just seemed like a really genuine person.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
I mean, I trusted my instinct and we met and we really did connect very well and we're probably going to collaborate. You don't know
That's
where those,
amazing. That's amazing.
yes. So there's people that you can collaborate with that might even become your client because once you tell
Right.
them what you're doing, it's going to pique their interest too.
Yep. Yep.
You could offer them a discounted session. There's so many different ways to get here because the
Yeah.
important thing too. Say you decide I'm going to coach someone for 6 months at $5,000. Well, it might take you a while to build up the courage to charge that. But you could coach someone for 6 weeks for $1,000 or
Right.
$500 or whatever it is. But once you start making money, you start building momentum. And that's the thing. So, a lot of times we are taught high ticket. Yes, high ticket is great, but not everybody's system will allow them to even like
Right.
say the word 5,000,
Right. Right.
right? But
Yep.
you might be comfortable saying 6 weeks, $600. And if you
Yep.
said 6 weeks, $600 to 10 people and you started getting yeses, you would feel more confident. And then you could say 6 weeks for $1,000. Or you
Yeah.
could say 3 months for 2,000 or 3,000. You know,
Yep.
you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? I started out charging 3,000 for 6 months.
And how did that go? Were you scared? Were you like, oh?
Of course I was scared. But one thing about me, I'm one of those people that I've always done it scared. So
Right.
and I tell people all the time, you might feel like you want to pee in your pants. So what? You're
Yeah.
not going to pee in your pants. What
Right.
it's the worst thing is a feeling, right?
Yeah.
That's the worst thing is the feeling. So imagine I went from 3K to 5K to 10K to
Oh my God.
15K in a year and a half.
Wow. But you built momentum and your nervous system got more comfortable with it.
Yes.
That's cool.
And my coaches that I worked with were telling me, Gail, you're a great coach. You need like when I was charging 5K, the mentor I had at the time, he said, you need to double your rates. And I was like,
Mm.
um, and he said,
Yeah.
seriously, you need to double your rates. So the next time I did a consultation and someone asked me, how much did I charge? I kind of like, you're kind of acting in a way because you know you're scared, but you can't come off scared. And I just said, it's 10,000 for 6 months. We meet every week and it's pay in full. I used to only do pay in full, but then I started doing some payment plans and then I just was quiet and let them process. And the woman said, okay, how do I pay you?
Wow.
Blew my mind. There's a saying, you
So
have
cool.
not because you ask not. If you
Right.
don't ask, how and you probably will get no's. I've gotten plenty of no's. Some
Of
people are like, I
course.
really want to work with you, but I can't, I don't have it or whatever. Different people. My husband won't let me.
Right.
Whatever. It's all different kind of reasons, but your people that are ready will pay you to get the transformation that they desire.
Mm. Yep. I believe that. I believe that. Just gotta
Right.
find them.
So to get here, you can't get here from where you are right now unless you make
Mm-mm.
these changes. Unless you change the thought, feeling, and action that you're working with every day.
Yeah.
Questions.
No, I mean it makes total sense. I just need to make sure um that I am changing. I need to make sure that I'm doing those things. The thought, changing the thought, feeling, and action. I need to make sure I'm doing that. And
So,
I can't get in my head, which is what has been happening.
so this is what I want you to do. You have to write it down every day.
Yeah, I will.
So the same thing that we discussed, this CTFAR,
Yeah.
put it on a piece of paper. You could put it on in the notes in your phone. You can ask a friend to hold you accountable. When I first started doing this work, I had a friend that was doing it too. And we used to check in with each other every day and make sure we ran our models.
Okay.
So before we go, I do want to talk a little bit about the unintentional model.
Okay.
So the unintentional model is pretty much what you came to the call with.
Yeah. Because you don't even realize what your thoughts are.
That's why it's unintentional. So you might get off this session today and think to yourself, this is too hard. I don't know if I can do it. That's the thought that's going to drive your feelings, that's going to drive your actions today. Make sense?
Yeah. It makes total sense.
That's the unintentional. It's those thoughts that keep coming up. I have to get a job. I have to get a job in corporate, otherwise I'm going to be homeless. Like people say that all the time. If I don't get a job, I'll be homeless. I won't be able to pay my bills. That's not true. I haven't been homeless. I haven't had a job in 3 years. I'm not homeless. I have a mortgage. Have I ever been late? It was late. It's been late a couple times. But if you have the intention to pay your mortgage, like that might be the result you desire. This month, I'm going to make sure I pay my mortgage, my gas, electric, have food on the table, whatever it is. Then everything that you do is going to be with that in mind.
I love it. Okay.
Even when, and I'll give you another example before we go, we have a minute. I went to the store today and there's this healthful, it's an organic store, where everything in the store is, they only sell like organic, healthy stuff. Well, it's really expensive, but I wanted to make a green smoothie and I'm like, I'm not buying stuff with pesticides all the time.
No.
But when I go there, there's so many things that I want to buy. Like a lot of times I go in there and I'm like, oh, let me get some hummus. Oh, let me get this,
Mm,
all these things. So today I said, I'm going in here with being intentional. My result I wanted was to buy the ingredients for my smoothie, right? I started to buy several things and I said, nope, gal,
mm-mm.
that's not what you came here for. And when
Right.
I came out of there, $30 was all I spent, which to some people that might sound like a lot, but I got enough to probably make smoothies for the next week, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and for that store, I had
That's
a
not bad.
I
Yeah.
had a full bag, so 30, that was really great. But if I had just
Yeah.
gone in the store with no intention,
Oh yeah. You would have come out 150 bucks and you would have been felt
easy,
crappy about yourself.
easily,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. So every day I want you to think about, what am I creating today?
Okay.
And that will reduce a lot of stress too.
Yeah.
Because if you're thinking, even if you decide the thing that I'm creating today is to message 5 people,
Yeah.
and anything other than that is icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Or the result I'm going to have today is to spend 1 hour on my business.
Yeah.
Not doing busy work, but literally
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
work that moves the needle.
Okay.
Instead of just going about your day, which most people do. You go about your day, and then at the end of it's like, where did the day go? I didn't
Yeah.
accomplish anything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's the worst feeling. Yep.
Okay, so any questions before the
Nope.
session
I
ends?
am going to write down my CTFAR every day.
Yeah, and I want to see that
I will,
when you
I
come
will
to your
share it.
next
Yep.
session, because it's important that I know what you're thinking. So
Yep.
that, because
Agreed.
I want you to run some unintentional ones too. So when thoughts come up that are keeping you
Okay.
stuck, because that's going to happen every day. There's going to be thoughts that come up that like, this is too hard. What have I gotten myself into? Do I really want this? There, this is the other thing I want to mention. The thought is really a statement, not a question. So if you think, do I really want this? The thought is, I don't want this.
Yeah.
Because if you're thinking, do I really want this? Your real thought is, it would be easier if I didn't have to do this work.
Yeah.
But the payoff is so much greater
I
than
know.
just living life according to what other people say you should do and who you should be.
Oh, yep.
And that doesn't mean don't get a job. It doesn't mean don't get a part-time job. It doesn't mean any of that. You can be very intentional also about the result as far as, do you work as a consultant? Do you work part-time? Do you, I mean, there's hundreds of options. We just tell ourselves, I have to get a job,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which isn't true.
Yeah. And those unintentional thoughts too come in. It's like, well, what am I going to do about insurance? What am I going to do about this? What am I going to do about that if I don't have a corporate job? Like,
And all of
you
those
know?
questions, I want you to start writing them down because there's answers to all of them.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.